Hey guys, Michael Mershon, your Ziglar licensed coach. If you have paid attention to the news at all, then you probably have heard talk of a recession. So I wanted to jump in and just kind of give you some Ziglar wisdom in a recession. So what are some things that you can do? Because there is a financial component, but there's also a mental component. So I want to kind of dive into that a little bit. And the meat of this content is that failing to prepare is preparing to fail. And that basically means that you have time right now. It may not be a lot of time, but you do have time. So it would be wise to have a plan or prepare for what is likely to come. And the reality is that most people don't get serious about their financial future until they're facing a hardship or have already been through a disaster. Now, I don't want you guys to find yourself 3 months, 6 months down the road when we're deeper into the economic slowdown or the recession, if it ends up hitting, and realize that, oh, I should have done something, 3 or 6 months ago when I had a little bit of time. So that's kind of my motivation in making this video, just to make you guys think. If you have a plan, great. If not, then I'm going to give you some cues and some tips to maybe get that plan in place. So what are we going to cover? What is a recession exactly? How do I prepare for a recession mentally and financially? And again, you notice I listed mentally first because success in this area is going to come from having the right mentality in order to follow through on the right financial decisions. And then last thing is tools that you can use to keep you on track. Some budgeting tools, some automated tools that will help you find subscriptions, things like that. So what is a recession? A recession, by the textbook definition, is a period of reduced economic activity. Okay, so what the heck does that mean? Or more specifically, what does that mean to you? Like, how's that going to affect you as a person? Well, for starters, if you are invested in the stock market, you do have stock, you have probably seen your stock lose value. That's generally the most obvious indicator. Some less obvious indicators are things like companies have hiring freezes. Lots of the major corporations now have just flat out quit hiring people. Another example of companies that maybe even take it a step further, one of the large real estate firms in the country laid off about 25% of its staff because they were concerned with cutting costs and concerned with the housing economy specifically. So again, this is primarily revolving around money. Money is not the most important thing, but it is relatively close to oxygen, Zig Ziglar. So first off, we're going to mentally prepare. So before you even get into the financial side of it, you have to properly prioritize things. And realizing much of what's going to happen or is currently happening is beyond your control. So focus on the things that are within your power to control. And that's where properly prioritizing things comes in, because there's going to be many, many things that are going to happen in the stock market, in the job market, and in the energy sector with oil and gas prices and the cost of goods going up because diesel is higher. Those are all things that you can't control. So prioritize the things that you can control that are within your power. And once you have that mindset, then that's going to be things in the financial perspective like savings. Having an emergency fund of at least $1,000 is a very simple step that you should be able to take to prepare. Personal household budgets. Whether you're a household of one, then you're just going to have kind of a personal budget. If you have a spouse, maybe you have a spouse and kids, or you have a spouse, kids, and maybe you have your in-laws or your parents living with you. Whatever your particular situation is, make a conscientious effort to put together a household budget. And adequate insurance. Now, medical bills is actually one of the number one things that bankrupts people. So make sure you have adequate medical insurance. Make sure you have life insurance. Life insurance is not very expensive, and it protects your significant other, your spouse, your kids, whoever you leave behind. Disability insurance. Do you have disability insurance in the event that you are hurt and can't work? You're no longer getting a paycheck, so what are you going to do? That's an important point to consider. And then investments. Like I mentioned, the stock market is most likely going down for the near future. but historically it tends to bounce back. So don't panic and go touch your investments or pull them out or sell them. If you have a financial advisor, talk to them. If you don't have a financial advisor, I would recommend talking to somebody that's in that world, and they will be able to talk you through exactly what's going on. Check all your auto subscriptions. Again, this comes into the personal household budget because many people now have signed up for subscriptions that they're not even aware are pulling every month. Maybe it's just $2 or $3 a month. So you're like not even worried about it. Maybe it's $5 or $10 a month, and that's still an inconsequential amount to you. But the point is that you have probably forgotten about some of the subscriptions that you even have, yet you're still being charged for them. So what do you use and what do you actually not use? Are you even aware of what you have? And then some tools to keep you on track. So the first one's budgeting tools, because if you do, either of these websites are great. They both have the same concept, and that is that you're taking every dollar that you make and you're assigning it to a specific category, whether that's food, whether that's entertainment, whether that's gas. Whatever it is, you're taking it every time you make a transaction and you have to put it into a specific category so you know exactly where all your money is going. And that can help with things like the automatic subscriptions that you may not even know you have, because if you're forced to assign every single transaction in your bank account to a specific category, you're going to catch those things just by the virtue of paying attention to them. If you know you have subscriptions and you don't want to deal with them, you can look up truebill.com or asktrim.com. Essentially what they will do is they will go through your bank account and find all the recurring charges that have occurred for a series of months, and if you would like them to, they will go in for a fee and cancel them. So that's an option as well. And then insurance, again, like I said, medical bills are one of the number one things that bankrupts families. So go to a broker and price around your insurance. When's the last time you did that? Most people don't really reprice their life insurance or car insurance or home insurance, whatever other insurances you have. Go to somebody like XanderInsurance.com or XanderINS.com. And they're a brokerage that works with multiple different companies. So they're able to shop around on your behalf and give you the best possible rate. No obligation to change, not saying that you have to go drop your current provider, but it doesn't hurt to know, because it's about small changes. So you make the small change of having a budget and maybe limiting impulse purchases, where you see something on Amazon, you buy it, or you're at the store and I want that, I don't really need it, but I'm going to buy it anyway. Or you lower your insurance. You have a budget and you're canceling subscriptions now. Those little things can add up to hundreds and hundreds of dollars a month. Now, that may not be a huge deal to some people, but that's a lot of money to other people. And if you take that same amount of money and reinvest it into something else, then by all accounts, you're going to be way better off than what you were getting for it. So again, it's just about having a plan. It's about being conscious of these things. So whether or not you feel like a recession's coming, whether or not you feel like you're going to be impacted by it, it doesn't hurt to have a plan. Because like I said earlier, failing to plan is planning to fail. And I want you guys to be successful. We're a little over halfway through the year here. How you finish these next 3 to 6 months is going to determine how you start next year. So let's finish with some momentum. Let's finish strong. And if you guys need resources, I have a network of financial advisors, insurance people, things like that can help you through some of the more nitty gritty of this stuff. If you're just feeling overwhelmed, you need a plan, then reach out to me and I'll get you connected with somebody. If you need some coaching to some help you get your right mindset, then I got your back there as well. Anyway, guys, that's all I got for you. Stay strong, stay motivated, and get out there and do something great.